All right, we are back for another happy hour of code Friday.
Yep. The
Running a little
Friday.
late today.
The Friday stream. Yeah, running a little late today. It was my fault.
It's all
It's
right.
my bad. I have a class right before this stream, so sometimes it gets crazy.
Yeah, right. So, I turned off the debug for the moment because I don't think we need it. Um, so we can, just doing the emotes.
But I guess we need a little test there. Let's get that
Yeah,
rolling.
let's just get a couple in there. Just getting a few running. All right, good. So we're seeing them on there. All right, I was trying to make sure that the stream wasn't showing them. Oh, I guess your connection slowed down. I gotta figure out. Oh, that's right. I gotta get it moved over to the other thing. Oops. Did I lose you, Pete?
No, no, I'm here. I'm here. I
Okay.
heard a big boom. It must have been one of the fireworks because it comes
Yeah.
through my headset now.
Yeah.
uh,
Well, that and so you just froze too. So.
let me see what's up. Let me run a ping here and see what's going on.
All right. So there was actually a couple of things that I wanted to go through and do. One is adding the alien names to it, right? But I was doing some research and I found that there's the suggestion for using the so we're using SignalR to do our communication between our server and the web page. Um, there was some examples where they were using a different library for it that was more worked better with Node.js and such, but they were doing a thing that um, was interesting that they actually put the connection into the game. So this way you could connect to it depending on the scene that you were in, and you would just take advantage of it in the right spot. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, right. And so because of that, I thought, oh, maybe we should do the same thing, and this way we can use the globals and take advantage of it similarly. So I think I'm going to do that first here.
Okay.
So what we can do is we can take our connection and bring it in here. And so this is our game object, right, that we were creating where we added the scenes to it. We were just executing the connection on stuff as part of this here, and then we were using PubSub to try to publish it up to um, wherever we were going to actually be receiving it.
Okay.
And we're basically going to have the ability to now remove that altogether, which is nice. So we can we can add the globals by on the game just basically doing a this.globals and giving it an object. So I'm just going to give it the connection.
Okay.
Right. So now this becomes part of the globals.
What was the logic for keeping it outside of the game before making this change? Was it just what we saw, the example we saw? There wasn't really.
Well, it was because we wanted to have it start up the connection as part of the startup of this page, right? To
Okay.
make that connection. So that's why we were doing it that way. And then putting it inside of here really wasn't making sense when we were doing all the stuff out here to set it up, right? So now we don't. What it really boils down to is now we don't need any of this here, and then the rest of this can get moved now to the scene that we want to actually have it in,
Okay.
right? So what we end up doing here is going to our main scene. So now we can actually do it during. There's actually one other phase here called init, which is a different phase of the process. So I'm
Okay.
just going to
Is
add
that
a thing in here
is
too.
that before or after the preload? Does it come before like you're typing it in the life cycle?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was putting it there. So it's basically a init preload create, and
Okay.
then update is like the every cycle, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. And then that's the loop at the end that
Yeah.
runs.
So we'll do something like this. Now I'm going to create a Actually, I want to call that connect this to events plural. One other thing, so to get access to the actual globals that we've just set up in the game, we could get to it directly by doing just like this game, and then we do. That's how we now get to the globals, and then we could do the connection.
Okay.
But just to make a shortcut for it, I'm just going to do this, so we can make that as part of it.
Okay.
So
that's really just a matter of a little bit of shorthand there.
yeah. One other thing I'm going to do is I want to take. Let's see. You know what? We actually, because in here we're actually doing a thing to PubSub for dispatching the events. Let's make that part of our globals as well. Then this way we can just do.
Okay. And
Right.
you'd be able to drill in and pull that out just the same.
Yeah. The other thing that makes that nice too is that now that we've done that, then we don't actually need this here.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
it will just be using it from here.
Yeah, because it's going to come in that away.
Yep. And then we can take these here. Actually, we can even leave them here still, right? So we can just change this to this dot PubSub like that.
Okay, so you're just accessing the one that you pulled in. Or
Yep.
The thisy one.
Yeah, this way it'll come in on the globals, and we'll maintain that. And this makes it nice too that if we had multiple scenes where we wanted to connect to different events for a given event or whatever, we can. It makes it a little bit easier to manage that. Which is why I thought it was nice that when they did it, I was like, that makes so much sense to take advantage of those globals for that. All right, so now we have the connection. This is going to have to also be from the field. So take it to that. Now, the only thing that I can see that we will have a problem with is because we're calling this here.
Mm-hmm.
This is inside the event. So we're going to need to do something like
kind of marshal what this is.
yeah, because one of the things I have found out the hard way is that the SignalR doesn't have a way of passing in context. I ran into this when I was working on something for work, I guess, really. And I was working with a junior dev who was working on trying to do some stuff with it, and he was like, I cannot figure out why this is happening.
It's like, this isn't what you think it is.
Yeah, right. Whereas, so here you can see one of the things that we did for the PubSub library that we added. Technically, I believe I found it somewhere, or at least bits and pieces of it, and we're actually able to pass in the context. Right. So what happens is the context gets set when the method HighPete is called.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So it gets passed in.
Yeah. So that's why we don't have to do some weird self stuff or whatever. Even though here we should have done something like that. Or we have to do it here.
So now, would you think that would be something that you would want to do, like if you were like a junior dev, to protect yourself and just kind of take control of that all the time so you always know what it is? Or is that something you want to use sparingly, the whole self thing?
So self works, right? It's more about the fact that if you have the option to pass in what this context is, it's better to pass it in.
Okay.
Right? And I think ES6 is making that more standard. Is a more standard option on stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. You're still frozen.
Am I?
You were unfrozen for a little bit, and then.
Yeah, and then I got big, and now I'm frozen again. And I look all contemplative though on the stream. That's cool.
Yeah, It's not a bad. You know, it'd be interesting. We should make it where it's like if there's no video, that's what it shows. Oh, you're moving again.
Yeah, I stopped and started the video. So it's not my internet this time. I think it might be Skype itself. Like the Skype servers are not happy, or the Skype application on my system is not happy. So I may crash altogether and have to come back.
Oh, right.
Always something.
That. Let's. All right. So now we got our. Let's see if our events are still working, right? Because. Oh. Yeah. All right. So good. So our events did actually work. Because you can see the emotes going. All right. Cool. So let's just make sure the other ones are still okay because we did the high Pete. All right. High Pete is going. We do the alien. Yep, there he is. Walks out and he jumps, lands, gets back. So that was interesting. That was another thing that we had, right? So we did the alien twice, and when I did it the second time, it stopped it in the middle of that movement and started going the other direction. Hey, welcome back.
Hey. Thanks. Glad to be here. You know. Oh, funny.
So I was just going over the fact that the stuff is actually coming through appropriately now. Come on, get out of here. So it's still like, so even though I moved all those events over to this other spot, everything's still getting fired.
Right. So we're as far as we were. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so everything's still going. Now, the one thing I was going to mention is that we can actually now, we could actually eliminate this pub sub altogether, right? Because now we have these messages and we're saying, here's what we're trying to do. What we can actually, that's possible for us is that we could actually now just call the method directly, right? So we should be able to, right? So we don't even use the message type.
Yeah, right.
The only part that is tough is the fact that we're actually trying to access the parent of this. I know that we can do it. Let me see here.
I'm interested to see it.
Yeah, right?
I'm having a hard time picturing it, so
I feel like we can still do it. So let's try it. Let's do it first with just high P, right? So now we don't need this.
Okay.
That method, right? Because then we can just take this here and we can just do like that.
The screen's not updating.
Yeah, it's because you're frozen too. Did you actually like fully restart?
No, not the whole system, but
Oh,
Skype
I meant
crashed.
like Skype.
Oh yeah,
Skype.
it got to a point where I couldn't even X out. It's like, oh, that's why I was like, it's going to die soon because I can't even stop it.
Oh man.
Oh,
Yes.
it's moving now. It's updating. So I see the high peak firing. So okay, so it worked. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see what that code looked like because I actually didn't see.
Let's look in here to make sure it actually updated it, because that was the only thing I was concerned about was.
Oh, might not be running the new code.
It is though, because see, it's gone from here.
Okay.
And then, yeah. So, here, now I can go to this. That's a little bit bigger. So what I ended up doing is we had a pub sub on here. I ended up removing that for the high Pete,
right?
And then just calling the method directly.
Oh.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can actually do that now for like these ones as well.
Yeah, you don't need any of that.
I don't need any of it, right? So now I can just do. And then this is silly. We don't even use this.
Yeah, the message type.
Yeah.
It's like
Um,
artifact.
Yeah. So actually, why don't we even get rid of it because we don't even need it, right? So
Yeah.
let's just
I
take
agree.
this. We'll put this in here. We'll pass that through there like we were doing before. And then let's get rid of. Hypete has it on there also, and it doesn't need it. Get rid of it from here. And we don't need it on this one either. We actually don't even have any args coming into this just yet. But we'll leave that there for the moment.
But we might.
Yeah, we're going to. Let's put it that way.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right. I don't know if that was too much of a spoiler. We're kind of saying that we're going to do that anyways.
Yeah. All right, so that's nice and clean.
Yeah, so now we can just do that there, blah, blah, blah. We do the same thing here. We don't need this. We could just do let's remove that too, and then just do args. Right, so then I don't need that message either. So I can get rid of the message.
Yep, and then so where are you using that pub sub piece still?
We won't be. That's what I'm getting at. Like,
Okay, so it's all coming out. Everything's going to come out. Okay.
Yeah, we don't need it for anything. I'm going to leave. We can leave it here on the global in case there's something special. But there's actually, so one of the things that we never really took a full look at and took full advantage of was the fact that there actually is a pub sub model inside of Phaser 3 that's available, right? You can do it by using emit and ons, I believe. Don't remember the specifics for it. We'd have to look it up, but it has one. All right, so there's no need for it's not really necessary for us to have our own. Oh, I think I lost you, Pete.
I can hear you.
Oh, I can't hear anything. If you're saying anything, I can't hear you. So
I didn't for a little bit because
Yeah,
I felt
okay.
like I was getting ready to go down again. I was trying to check and see what my ping is and everything. Because I'm like, look how tiny I am on the stream.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if I've ever seen you that small.
Right?
Well, I mean, you've been frozen.
Yeah, it's
pretty
really
much
bad
within
tonight.
a few seconds.
It's really bad tonight, but there's nothing on my end that looks like it's a problem. Like my system is chugging along, and I'm getting a good ping, good fast ping. I don't know what it is.
It's almost like you got to try one time just doing it without the docking station.
Yeah, but then it would be on Wi-Fi.
I don't know. Is this better? Right?
I don't know.
So, all right. So let's see if that's working now that we've put that piece. I mean, that's hopefully small enough change that it'll work. All right. Our aliens are working.
Yeah, it worked.
Yep. So everything is still going. I should probably just make sure to do one more hard one. Yep. I do think it's funny how, like, watch the alien. Oh, no. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can actually.
All right. So the alien's walking back, and I hit the alien again. Starts walking, and then just disappears. Because of the tweening, right? So it's actually tweening the exact same object. So it just pops it right across the screen, which is why we end up with that odd behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So I think so now that we're getting that piece, so part of what I wanted to be able to do was to actually create an alien with a nameplate.
Right.
Um,
Like we kind of talked about that, right? Last stream.
yeah, so this way when you type in alien, like you'd get an alien and have a nameplate on it. Now, for right now, I'm just going to do kind of the same thing that it's doing right now, where it just walks out, but instead it'll actually have excuse me, the user's name on the nameplate. And let's see, so we already connect to the events. We have this, so we need, what I think we're going to start with is taking the I don't know why you popped up. All right, so we need to take this here, and we need to actually like move the alien into its own object.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to create. I want to create an objects folder here,
Okay.
and we'll add a new JavaScript file. We'll call this alien container. All right, so we'll start this off. We'll just do our export default. So this will actually, we're going to extend from a Phaser 3 object, which is called Phaser game container, or container. It's game
Okay.
object. No.
Oh. Nope, nope.
Right, so this will allow us to do that. So then we'll have our constructor. The way that this works, this object, or this container works, is actually it takes a scene and an X and a Y value.
Okay.
So basically that means at the beginning we've got to then pass in that to the super.
So the X and the Y, is that a size or a position?
That is a position.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to need that information as well, so we're going to set that there. X and Y is already going to come in. It's weird that, I would think if we were passing the scene into the container, I thought it was on there. Maybe it's not. I must have had to add it for some reason because I think it's one of those issues. So as part of this, one of the things that we've got, right? Let's take a look at our alien. So we don't need the launch rocket. We don't need that. All right, so we're generating our frames, we're generating our sprite. So here's something that we're not going to do anymore, right? So we're not going to do the sprite. What we're going to do is we're going to create the container instead, which will then contain a sprite with the alien in it.
Okay.
Right. So what we'll have to do is we're going to have to pass this information up to our container. So we're going to need this here, which is the this is the key from the sprites.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do this. We're going to pass in the key. We also need this frame, right?
Okay.
Oh well. So we'll just call this frame. I don't know whether we'll need to store this for future calls, but we'll just add it in for the moment. Then here we can actually do the add sprite. Right, so now we'll do this command.
So that'll give you a new sprite with that definition.
Yeah. So what we're actually doing here is that we're bringing it into this container, so that we can now do alien, right? And so what's nice is you don't even need this here. This will actually just be 0, 0.
Okay.
Because because what you're actually doing is the container is a box, and all the stuff that you're adding inside of it will be relative to the container.
So it will move along with the container. So really, it's standing still as far as it knows.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not aware of its position so much as it's just staying in the box.
Exactly. Um, yeah. So this will give us our alien at a given position. So what we could actually even do, I think, with just this, right? Instead of having this here, we could actually make the alien be the container, right? So we could do let me just
A new one of your container classes.
Yep. Where we'll take that from. So I got to go to the objects. Yeah. So there we go. And then, so down here instead, we're gonna do be equal to new alien container. Oh no, I lost Pete again.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. He disappeared.
The video wasn't moving anyway, so I turned it off for a second to try and let it like catch up.
Oh, I gotcha.
Oh, look, I'm big.
That is weird.
I'm small.
That's usually an indication of bandwidth issues between us. With that, at least from what I was reading. All right. So what I was able to do. So now we've got this here for our alien. I believe this should actually work still. I'm hoping. I believe the container will be treated the same. Oh, something wasn't right. Oh, now I've lost you, Pete. Looks like did I spell something wrong?
Okay.
Oh, there you're back. Oh, nope, you're gone.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay. Let me turn the camera on.
I can see it too.
Awesome. So I pulled off the wired connection just to try it out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess what I was getting at more with when I was saying to get rid of the docking station is because I think the docking station itself is actually problematic.
Yeah, well, that's why I popped it off. So
I
get a little frustrated, so I just popped the umbilical off, and it just took a second to kick over to the.
I gotcha.
The wireless.
I thought you
we
were
are
saying
running on wireless.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens here. Not read property container of undefined. Why would that not work? Export default class alien container extends phaser game objects dot container.
Is it erroring, or are you just not getting the results you expect?
No, I'm getting an error message. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't save this. Hold on a second. Let me try. Cannot read property queue depth sort of undefined. Queue depth sort. Interesting. You know what? There is a thing that I forgot to do here, which is related to the adding the container itself actually to the scene, and that might be what's getting us. Nope, still didn't like it. I don't know what is going on here, Pete.
Am I back?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I couldn't hear you for a while.
No, I definitely wasn't hearing you for a while. You're still like kind of herky jerky,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, now I'm
erosion.
getting a poor connection. I might reboot my system. Why don't you keep going with the aliens? I'm going to reboot my system. I'll call you back because this is
Okay,
getting ridiculous. Um,
sounds good.
I'll be right back. I'll be back, everybody.
Yeah, so I'm running into a small issue here with the aliens, and I'm not quite sure why. Let's see. There's nothing. It seems like the error is happening inside this constructor. This is there. Key and frame is coming in, so that seems. Where did I pass something in incorrectly here? Oh, I forgot to pass in the scene. Well, it thinks I passed in the scene because actually it just needs to be a this. All right, I think that will resolve it, or give us a new one. You know, just not used to as much of that I have to do in this language. All right, so hey, at least we're loading up. Let's see if we actually do an alien command. Play of undefined. I forgot about this. So the container itself isn't like a full-fledged sprite because it's got this, you know, it's kind of a bubble in which you're putting other game objects inside of. So what we're going to actually need to do is to update and bring in the animation capability into the container. So we're going to add a command on here to say walk. That way, then we can do the we can now add a play to this, right? So, you know what? So we're going to need to actually get this information, this animation we've created, over to it. So let's do that here, and we'll change this to walk, and then we'll. All right, let's see if that works out.
Yeah.
I'm
back.
Good. So I'm doing I'm moving. So what we came across was there was a problem with the animations because the animation won't work against the container because the container itself is not a sprite, right? Animations only work on sprites, especially when you're giving it the information for it there.
Okay.
So what ended up, so we ended up getting an error message. So what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna move this. We're gonna have the alien container. We're now gonna pass in a new animation. So we'll pass in. I'm actually gonna call it alien walk. I feel like walk is too generic, especially if we end up having other things that walk.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So now we'll pass in the animation for the alien walk. There we go. All right.
I'm still here. If
Okay.
that's what you're wondering.
We'll call it walk animation. Yeah, we seem to be moving around now.
Yeah, it's still the sound's getting like weird again. So I don't know. This might be an ill-fated stream this time. Jeez.
No, that's not good.
Between getting a late start and then technical difficulties as they are.
Yeah, right.
We definitely have a lot more of this in the evening ones. Because we don't have. It's not too bad on Saturday morning.
I know, right?
I
Is it
almost wonder
because
if it's
nobody
just
else,
like,
because nobody at your
yeah,
house is awake and doing anything?
yeah, yeah. It could be that, or it could be nobody in the world. I don't know. Like, just maybe nobody on my block as well. Because it's weird. Because everything that I can measure right here says I'm fine. And I was just on Zoom for an hour doing a lesson,
Yeah,
and I
right?
was fine. So it makes me feel like it's Skype, like their
That-
servers or something.
yeah, right? That's annoying. All right, so that's fine. Oh, now we got to jump. We got this front. And so this here is now going to be, we just do walk. And then this is stop walking. So I basically added some messages to it so that we can do this. Now, we're going to run into a similar problem because this flip X I don't believe is available as part of the... Oh, it might be because this didn't fail out. It was the animation that failed out. So, but we are going to need to add the jump. You're jumping around again, Pete. So
I know, like Max Headroom.
yeah, that should be a plugin that we get. So we're going to need the jump. So maybe this will actually be the thing that we should use, the front. Is that what we're... If you want to jump. All right, so let's add those here. So instead of this, let's maybe make that the front. So that way we'll do like a standing frame, and then we'll add a jumping frame. Yeah, so then this way, we'll say jump frame.
You gonna leave walk as anim?
Well, that's a walk animation.
Yeah,
right?
I guess that's like a strip of them, whereas those are kind of single frames. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could make them animations. It would just be a single frame animation.
Yeah. Just looked weird, but I get it.
Yeah. So then we'll have that. We'll have jump. Then we can say, maybe we can say jump. And then this way we can make the alien set texture. And this way we now tell it, we give it the key, then we set the jump frame. And then we can say stand to do the other one.
That's pretty cool. So then you'll have like a little handles for all this stuff when you're alien.
Yeah. Right. So now we have those. So now we can go back to here. So instead of using this, now we can just say jump.
Nice. I like that.
Yep. And then we can do stand. Yeah, there we go. Stop walking. Blah, blah, blah. I am thinking that maybe instead of this walk, we actually give it a direction
And then get, yeah, you
instead
can,
of having the flips here.
because then you could sort of hide that because everything else is
Yeah.
like
I want to
abstracted away from that.
I want to see if it works because I have a feeling that probably that flip X may not even work. That at least I suspect it won't. Well, it didn't yell at us. But it didn't work.
Didn't do it.
I
It's moonwalking.
it is moonwalking, and I think it didn't work. It didn't yell at us because FlipX didn't exist, so it just added it to it.
Right, because it'll, yeah, right. JavaScript will just let you stuff it in there.
Yep. Exactly. So I think what we can do here is let's make this a walk right.
Do you want to do it that
And
way,
then
not a parameter? Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm good. I like it.
For the moment, I don't think it matters. And we're going to set this to true. We set this one to false. So we leave that. and then that makes it over here, so we can say walk right, and then we can have this be walk left. We can get rid of that line.
Yeah, and we don't have to do all that flippy stuff. And it's very easily read, like understood if you read that code, like what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I like about that. I just think it's interesting to be able to do it, right? So now we can. Now if we do our alien, he should come out, do his little jump, stand, then turn around. Awesome.
There he goes.
There he goes. All right, so now we've got him coming out. Now we want to add the nameplate to him, right? So this way we can take the name of the person that actually typed in alien and put it over top of the character.
Right, so you'll get your alien when you type in alien.
Right. So this will be interesting because now we're going to actually need to. We're not going to be able to use a single alien at a time because we can't. Or well, we guess we could. We could always set the name as part of the call, but then it would change it if the next one. I think what I want to do is I want to make it where it's actually created as part of this.
Okay.
This here, right? So we're going to get this statement. And I believe as part of what we were doing, at least I think so. Maybe we didn't. Let me just double check here on this other screen. Yeah, I think we did already. So we can, let's, I just want to separate these parameters to make it easier to read. Now let's add our name, right? So what's neat is that in ARGS, we actually did this thing where we added this user and username the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can pass that in.
Yep.
And so as part of this, then let's do a piece where we actually set it up, right? So we're going to now say, I will do a create nameplate.
Okay.
And we'll take in the name. Just pass that in here. There's, to do the text, there's actually, there's actually a text thing that we can use. I forgot about that because.
Oh, is there now?
There is. Maybe instead of passing this in, we'll assign it. Yeah, so we can
Okay.
do it with in the scene that has an add text. So we can actually.
Oh.
Now we just give it. Well, let's do this. We'll just do 00 as a position for it. We'll pass in the name. Then you can actually do this thing where you can pass in some characteristics of the thing.
Oh, you get like a little style kind of deal there.
Yeah. So we can pass in some of this kind of stuff, right? So we'll just pass in a color.
Really is style. Sort of.
Yeah, it is. I think that because they took it from like, other things that work this way. So now that we have this, then we can say now we just add it, right? So now we can. Oh, I did that wrong. This dot add. And this basically adds it to the container. So now we've added it onto the container. Now we should be able to. It'll now take that with it. So let me just see. Does that make sense?
It does, actually. Okay. Now I see the code.
Oh, I gotcha.
So okay, and then that the scene is the box, so that'll just follow right along in the same way that the alien is inside there, right?
Yes, because this add is basically in the container, you're adding it to the container. So you can take a bunch of different types of game objects and just stuff them into this container. And then you're allowed to move them and manipulate them together.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So now we should be able to do an alien. Oh, cannot read property user of undefined. Oh, wait a minute. I think when we moved the call into this connect events, we didn't actually pass in the command, which is what I think we needed to do. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. All right. So now it's coming out. Now you can see it. It says Pete's House of Code. So we did it at 0, 0. So of course it ended up right in that same spot. That's 0, 0. Yeah, the top left corner. So what we can actually do is we can kind of we can shift it, right? So instead we can make it like I don't know. Let's do like minus 30, and then we'll do 16 because I think that'll give us about the right X, Y. Yeah, so it should move it up about 16. Maybe let's make it 18 because this will be 16 pixels. All right, let's try that one. So here's the part that I'm not 100% certain on is how to figure out how wide this text will actually be with this font. So we could then center it right over top of the alien, which would be nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You got a face like I'm not getting it.
No. I was trying to think of what if those negatives were right or not is all. But
yeah,
it is.
So it came out looking pretty good, right? So now we've got that there. So now if you do it, if you send in a chat, it should now have
Twitch. I will open it back up. Be right there. Be right there.
We need another Bang Alien. And I believe realistically we'll see both of them go at the same time because it creates a new one each time.
Right, because the way we set up that container. So let's see here.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Oh.
What? Mine didn't turn around.
Yours also didn't land. Wait a minute. So we're actually storing the we're creating the alien on the scene and then using that. So I think what we need to do is remove the this on here, right? So now we're just going to use it as a local. So we'll just do this as a const.
Okay, so now we'll get a version of it as we expected.
But we got to make sure we got to remove all of these too.
Oh, all those, yeah, because you're accessing it through this. All right.
Yeah, so
and that this is legit. Okay.
Right? Okay. Which one?
This one on the timeline.
Oh yeah,
that is a this. Yeah. Sort of just scanning for the word.
Yeah, so now both of ours should jump and land on the same spot right on top of each other. And they do.
Cool.
Yeah. So now we got the ability to have two different aliens. We have the nameplates over top of them. Something that I was thinking that might be kind of neat to do was to maybe we should try to make it bold. I wonder if we can do that. The font.
Make it bold.
Yeah.
And it's probably font weight. It's the CSS for it, right?
Yeah.
I think it's dash.
You can't use dash.
Font dash. Oh, okay.
Because it's JavaScript. So this is like so font size, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it accepts it. It did not.
Nah.
We'll have to figure it out some other time.
Yeah.
But I was thinking because the only problem is that because it's black, probably not going to be able to see it real well.
Well,
Maybe make this white.
don't we have the color of the user as well as their name? Didn't we add that to the command?
We do. We do. We still may end up running into a problem where if the color is black. Let's do that. Let's see if we can do name color.
I don't think it's ever black, is it?
Well, it's nothing. So
I just meant I don't think Twitch assigns you black.
right, but it can assign nothing though.
Oh.
I think it's hex color. I could do. Let's try that. All right.
Just both white.
Hold on. It might be because I used the wrong value for it. So it's user. Oh, it is hex color. So see, hex color came in blank.
That's weird though. Because I'm green.
Yeah, I know. I see. And so no, blank is white. So now you try doing it and see. Let's see if you get a color. Oh, you do have a color. Oh.
So what?
Wait,
what's the difference?
Did I? Wait a minute. Sorry, it's just responding very slow. Hex color. Okay, I did have it. Hex color. Well, let's see. Let me make sure it gets passed in properly. Oh. Oh.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah, so I was passing it in okay, but I just left it blank. I just left it as white, which makes sense. All right. So maybe what I need to actually do then on here is that I need to check to see if this is equal to blank. If so, that. Otherwise, I feel like there's another way of doing this in ES6, but I can't remember. You can do the stuff for undefined. Oh, wait a minute. Would the double pipes do it?
I don't know.
I feel like, I guess what I was thinking is, can I do this? Will that be the same?
Oh, that might do it.
I think it only works for undefined or null. All
All
right,
right, so
so
it's empty, so that
oh, and it brought it in white. All right, good.
yeah,
That
so that
does work.
was empty works. It's falsy enough.
It's falsy enough. All right, cool. So then that brings in the white.
I'm doing it. Hang on. And I'm
Yeah,
green.
now we got a green.
Nice.
Yeah. See how it's not centered? I would like to figure out how to get that centered at some point. I'm not sure what the answer is for that just yet.
Well, because it's the size of the font a little bit too, right? So,
And the name,
and the name.
right? So
Well,
you got it. Not
yeah,
only the
this.
font, but then the name as well. So,
Yeah, yeah. So,
right.
so you got to put it in its own little container and then center that.
Well, I think there might be a way to do it without that. I don't remember what I don't know what the answer is to it yet. I'll get it figured out for next week. But what would be neat is actually to add an alien tint, right? So that way, like, it'll just maybe we'll just do it where it'll be random. Just do it as a random tint.
So change the color a little. I
It
guess, or a
will.
lot, depending on how big that
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
hint
It could be
variable is.
anything, right? So what I did find is that there's actually there's a list of a list of tints that you can use on a color wheel that it has built into it, right? So we can. So if we,
Like phaser has built into it?
yeah, yeah. So what we can do is we can use this here. We can use this phaser display color dot each. I think it's all caps. HSV color wheel. Right. So now this is an array of colors. This will make it easier for us to actually do the the tinting to it, right?
Huh. Okay.
So instead of us having to try to come up with colors and stuff like that, this just gives us a whole list of colors. So then what we can do on here is we can just pass that in, right? So let's do this. We'll get we'll say color. Let's do tint color index. The other thing I found out too, and we have it in here because I created a thing for it, but it actually has a thing called map that you can do between. So you don't even have to. We don't have to have that special randomizer.
Right. So just do it anywhere on the color wheel, essentially.
Well, that's what this is going to do. But this here is basically your random function.
Yeah. Between 0 and 359, which is, I assume, the end of the color wheel.
Yeah, but if you look down here where we use randoms, I created something that does the same thing.
Yeah, but we don't have to.
We don't have to because now it's there in phaser already. Which I was just like, really? Oh, I wish I'd known that when I was doing it. Yeah, so now we can do this and take an index on here and then do a dot color there.
Cool.
Yeah, so then now here we can do alien color. Ooh. We'll pass that into that. The next piece for really being able to add that to it is we got to do a set tint on it. So we now can do the alien. We can do set tint.
So this is going to use it now.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So that should do the trick there. All right. Let's try. All right. So now we can put in our alien. Yeah. So now I see it comes out different colors. You got a yellow one. Yeah, so now that'll let us kind of get that, make that a little bit different.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I guess for the last thing that we can maybe add in here is maybe we give it a random line to come in across, right? So instead of it being always right in the middle, so that whenever we do it, they're right on top of each other. Let's just give it a random.
Yeah, like Y position basically.
Yeah. And which shouldn't be too bad because I think we can do something similar here, right? So we'll just add it. We'll just do another between.
Mhm.
Zero is okay because that'd be very top. Actually, let's give it about 20 down because the name would be off the top then.
Right, just to keep it on the screen. Okay. And then
Right,
all the way kind of down to, I guess, really the bottom, right?
30. Yeah. So we could do the bottom minus the height of the alien, which I think is about 64-ish, right? So our height is 1080. So we'll do 1020. Yeah, so then now we should be able to make this, instead of this 410, we'll make this just a Y.
Right.
I think this actually could be more like 70.
Can you randomize how far it goes to the right as well?
We can, not as easy right here just yet.
Okay. So it's going to do the same animation. It's just going to start from a different point from top to bottom on the screen.
Correct. Yeah, see, I got a whole bunch of them. Oh!
What?
They all jumped.
That was awesome.
Oh my goodness.
I'll do it again. I just want to see it again now that I know to expect it.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Dude, we should make it do that, and then it should be like one giant alien that walks away. Like they all combine together.
Oh, yes. Oh, it'd be like Voltron.
Right? Like everyone that jumps in, like makes it a percentage bigger, and then it goes away.
Oh, especially if they're like have the same name, right? They should compile, they build up.
Right? That would be neat if like this, yeah, right? Oh.
Yeah, so here's why we got the problem, right? So we got this. So it was 410 and it jumps to 380.
Just
so it's
jump
less than
off.
30, right? So it's Y minus 30.
Right.
And then this would be Y. Yeah. That should at least make them so they all jump in their own line for right now. Somebody's a straggler. That is pretty neat.
That is pretty cool. It's like alien invasion.
It is.
That should be a command. Alien invasion. Just send out like 100 of them.
Well, you know what's funny? So when I was playing around with this idea, I basically took this and I did something similar, right? So I'll just do. Oops. I did oh, I don't need it to new. Then I did username. All right, so I did that. So that way the pointer down would actually trigger it.
Oh, so you can spam it.
Yeah. It's like you just get a lot.
Okay, they all stop at the same spot.
Yep.
And run back. That's awesome.
Wasn't that crazy? I was like, the first time I did it, where I just was like, I'm just gonna go crazy. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, it's just
That's
like
great.
millions of them.
It'd be great if you could like click a big hammer and they would all go into that jump animation and then just fall, like right off the bottom of the screen. That would be great. Like you could shake them off.
Yeah,
Oh, we should do some more of this.
right. That's what I was like. I have to tell you, this is part of the reason why I was saying, like, with even with the potato chip miner, that it would be nice to. It might be cool to do some of the graphic stuff.
Yeah, look how easy that was. Really, really. I mean, we spent a lot of time doing it on the stream, but it's on the stream too, right? So we're kind of
Yeah.
playing around and working through it. But yeah, ah, that's awesome.
That's why I was like, I really wanted to get it where you can have each person can do it, get their alien on the screen, and actually start moving around. We just got to create what the goal is going to be for some of these aliens. I had this thought that the thing that could happen is we could have random spaceship parts like show up on the screen that they have to go and pick up, and as they collect them, like it builds their spaceship, and then they could float around once they got the spaceship going.
That would be kind of cool. We could even add like a little element of like have like a baddie show up that can kind of like
Yeah,
take your stuff.
absolutely. Well, I mean, that's what I was kind of getting at. I was like, I think we could do something that make that kind of entertaining to play on the stream over top of everybody, and everybody would be fighting for the same stuff, right? Because there'd be like things would pop up, and everybody would be trying to get to it, but trying to type in the commands to get you there is going to be hard.
Right, and then having everybody kind of because it's a delay. So.
Yep. Yeah. So I think that's the part that'll make it. It could make it pretty interesting. But yeah, we're at the. I think we're at the end of the stream, but I like the fact that we could do this, because so the other thing is like, so I can do a bunch Pete's House of Code and some of the clicking.
Right, and this is just a web application, right? Like if you pull this code down, you can just drop it into Visual Studio Code and run it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it
I mean,
doesn't
this
have to be attached to the stream.
Well, I mean, for the stuff that we're doing, it does, because we don't have any way of getting the information to it without the stream,
That's true.
right? So, and that was one of those things that we've kind of messed around with, is like a debugger or like a tester tool with it, where we don't actually have to be connected to the stream to do the stuff. Which
Music's kind of perfect right now for all these little aliens.
But I like
yeah,
I like the fact of doing the tinting. So now you get like a whole bunch, and this is just from one graphic, so we haven't done anything extra for
right.
it.
Because we have 2 other aliens that we could do, and we could totally randomize which alien you even get.
Mm-hmm. That
Oh,
I've been totally thinking about how it would be great to do that kind of stuff.
yeah. Oh yeah. They could come in from the top and bottom too. They don't necessarily. There's all kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All
Well,
kinds
that's what I mean. We're gonna have to get this. Well, we have to get some other effects too. It'd be kind of neat, so that like when somebody types in like get their alien, like they do the bang alien, and then having it appear on the screen instead of just popping in, like it'd be neat to have some kind of like thing that brings it into the screen.
Right. We could have a variety of them. We could drop them in on a parachute. We could have them ride in. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah. Right. Like a million things you can do. That's awesome.
That's why I was like, this is getting pretty cool. So
Yeah, that's great. But it is time, so we probably should wrap it up.
I know. I got some stuff I need to do, but we'll be back tomorrow morning doing Snap.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, doing some more adventure, getting into it on that one too.
Yeah.
Got the mazes up. Got Black Castle.
Yeah. Well, we got to get. So Black Castle isn't working, right? Because the gate is still like not opening. We don't have a black key. We got stuff we're gonna have to do.
Black key. Yeah, we got some stuff. So Black Castle probably going to be on the menu.
Yep. Trust me. I was even thinking about that. I was like, I wonder if we can use that. Now that we've got the assets, we could actually create a phaser version of it also.
Right.
So.
Well, we just got to quit our jobs and we'll just stream all day.
Who needs a job?
Right. Better start monetizing our Twitch stream, I guess.
Yeah. We got to figure out how to do that.
Right.
All
How
right.
to live on 30 cents a day. All right.
Yep.
I'll see you, man.
Yep. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you again next week. All right.
That was awesome.